All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore a really beautiful 18th century Korean poem. But this isn't just about enjoying some old poetry. We're actually going to use it to crack the code of the Korean language itself by getting to know the world of Hanja, the Chinese characters that are the building blocks for so much of Korean vocabulary.
So, here it is, the whole poem in its original form. This piece is called Symbolizes, and it was written by a scholar named Deuk-gong. Now, I know it might look a little intimidating if you're not used to seeing Hanja, but don't worry about it. We're going to take this whole thing apart, piece by piece, character by character, and you'll see there's an incredible journey hidden inside these lines.
Okay, first things first, let's break down the title, Symbolizes. It's made of just 3 hanja. The first one, sway, is pronounced say in Korean, and it means year. The next one, mu, is read mo, which means dusk or the end of something. And the last character, im, is which means to recite or a poem. So you put it all together, and you get a poem recited at year's end. Right away, that title sets a really specific, thoughtful mood.
And who's the person taking us on this journey? A guy named Deuk-gong. Now, you might be thinking he was some kind of hermit living in the woods, but nope. He was actually a really important scholar and a government official. But what's so interesting about this poem is that we get to see him step away from all that, from his busy public life, to go find some quiet and clarity out in nature.
Okay, so let's get into the poem itself. It kicks off by painting this picture of one person, all alone in this huge, quiet landscape. The whole point of the beginning is to make you feel that sense of solitude. The first line reads, Semo sunjung-gek. Now we already know Semo from the title, right? That's year's end. Then we have sunjung. Sun is mountain. Jung is in or middle, so in the mountains. And the last character, gek, means a guest or a traveler. So the line is telling us, at year's end, a guest in the mountains. He's not at home. He's an outsider, a visitor, and he's there on purpose.
The next line builds on that feeling. It reads, "Gohoi-tak Gyeji." Gohoi means a lonely heart, or a feeling of solitude. Tak is a verb meaning to entrust something to someone or something else. And Gyeji is a cinnamon branch. So he's entrusting his lonely heart to a cinnamon branch. You got to be asking, why a cinnamon branch? And this, right here, is where things get really cool. The cinnamon branch, Gyeji, isn't just some random tree. In classical literature from that time, it was a huge symbol. It stood for the pure, quiet life of a scholar who has deliberately walked away from the rat race, from worldly ambitions. So when he says he's entrusting his heart to it, he's not just saying, I'm lonely. He's saying, I choose this path of quiet reflection.
All right, so he set the scene for us, right? He's alone, he's reflecting. Now he starts looking around, and he begins to paint this picture of the world around him, but he does it with just a few really powerful strokes of color. Okay, the third line is 봉우리봉 je. Let's break that down. Bong is a mountain peak. Chong is that beautiful blue-green color. Then you get uhuk, which literally means rain black or dark with rain. And je means at the time of. So he's looking out and seeing the world at the time when the mountain peaks are green and dark with rain. You can almost feel the atmosphere.
Then, in the very next line, he spots people living their lives in this landscape, 의지할탁 홍시. So, picture this. Ayo means to fish, and people are fishing in the baek, the white. What's white? Of course, snow. And then cho, which is to cut wood, among the hung or the red of fallen autumn leaves. It's the time when one fishes in the white snow and cuts wood among the red leaves.
And get this is just brilliant. With just 4 color characters, he's captured the entire year. You have Chung, the blue-green of spring, Hook, the black, dark rains of summer, Hung, the red leaves of autumn, and Baek, the white snow of winter. In just 2 lines, he showed us the whole cycle of nature. Absolutely amazing. Okay, so we've seen this huge, sweeping view of nature and the seasons. Now the camera kind of zooms back in on the poet himself. The focus shifts back to his own simple, personal actions in this world he's observing. He writes,痛飮田間酒. Tongum is a fantastic word. It doesn't just mean to drink. It means to drink heavily, to drink your fill. 정간 means between the fields, and ju is just alcohol. So he's saying, I drank heavily the wine from between the fields. This isn't some fancy, delicate sip of wine. This is a deep, rustic drink to wash away all the worries of the world. But then, check out the contrast in the next line. Myeom masang si. Myeom means to recite softly or to hum. Masang means on horseback, and si is a poem. So I recited softly a poem on horseback. So on one hand, he's drinking this hearty, rustic wine, but on the other, he's still this refined scholar, composing poetry while he rides. He's found this perfect balance between the two worlds.
All right, here we go. We're heading into the final stretch of the poem. The journey gets more intense now. He moves from just watching and acting to something deeper. It's like a walking meditation.
And the language here gets really sparse and powerful. The line is, Deuk-gong Hanja we. Deuk-gong means to walk alone, completely alone. Hanja is the wilderness, or wild fields. And that last character, we, means outside or beyond. So he's walking alone beyond the wilderness. He's pushing past every landmark into a place of pure, raw solitude.
So you have to ask yourself, right, after all this leaving society, watching nature, this solitary walk, where is he going? What's the whole point of this journey into the middle of nowhere? What is he about to find out here?
And this is it. The entire journey, every single line has been building up to this final amazing moment of clarity. This is the payoff.
The last line is 단직 awis. Now, if you take away that first word, the rest, awis, is a question. Who am I? But he adds that one word at the beginning, 단직. And 단직 means clearly, certainly, without a doubt. That one word, wow, it flips the whole thing on its head. It's not a question anymore. It's a declaration. It's him saying, it is clear now who I am. So get this, he's not confused anymore. After he stripped everything away, his job, the pressures of society, all the noise, he finally found his true essential self. The answer to who am I isn't some new job title or a different name. The answer is the calm, observant person who took this journey. It's about finding who you really are underneath it all.
You know, this idea of finding yourself through solitude is something you see everywhere, in so many philosophies. It kind of reminds me of this famous line from an early Buddhist text, which praises the strength and the focus you can find by just walking your own path, by yourself. And that really brings us to the final question, doesn't it? Deuk-gong did this more than 200 years ago. But in our world today, with our phones and notifications and constant connection, it really makes you wonder, what kind of clarity, what truth about ourselves could we find if we just had the courage to unplug for a little while and take a walk into our own wilderness?